Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 3 Heat stats that will improve in a major way in 2024 to 25. The Miami Heat look promising ahead of the start of the new 2024 to 25 season. They have made some minor roster changes and are banking on internal growth and health. Thus far, it's looking like that notion could become very real. Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro are hungry enough to continue making leaps, with Nikola Jovic and Jamie Jaquez Jr. showing the first bit of improvement in their games. Hopefully, the Heat get the first healthy full season out of Terry Rozier as well, who came into training camp with optimism and in great shape. Another key contributor in Duncan Robinson is fully healthy and looked strong during the Heat's first preseason win at home, totaling a team-high 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting. The team's core is looking 100% and ready for a revenge tour, along with many other intriguing pieces with the supporting cast and young players. If there is anything this Jimmy Butler-led build has proven to fans over the years, never doubt the Heat. They have the elite coaching, depth and top-heavy star talent to always be capable of shocking the world once again. Butler is also locked in more than ever, making an emphasis on a new mindset heading into the new year. This approach is vastly different from years prior, when Butler would expect to miss a certain amount of games. Contract year Jimmy is coming, and Heat fans should be excited to see the best version of their star. There are 3 stats that this Heat team will look to improve on, with the first one coming at no surprise. 1. Games missed. Miami were a top 3 team in most games missed due to injuries during the 2023-24 season, trailing just the Memphis Grizzlies and Charlotte Hornets. A lot of this seemed unfortunate, as it appeared that whenever a key contributor would return, another one would quickly go down. Herro being one of the team's best players and missing the amount of games he did is the starting point here. It is tough to build any sort of consistency and chemistry when a player of Herro's caliber is never in the lineup. The best version of the Heat comes when their top guys are playing, and he made that difficult from the beginning of the season. Butler, who has struggled with availability issues of his own, played in 20+ more games than a 24-year-old Herro. 2. Offensive efficiency rating. Erik Spoelstra's identity as a coach starts at the defensive end of the floor, and that was reflected by the Heat finishing last season in the top 10 in defensive rating. However, it was a different story offensively, where Miami ranked near the bottom half. It was clear after training camp that Spoelstra has put an emphasis on the team's offense, and rightfully so. The Heat seemed to have struggled with overpassing the ball last season. With the type of offensive talent this roster has, they need to have the confidence to take and make shots. The hesitation and second-guessing is a recipe for disaster, and a stat that should improve moving forward. 3. Terry Rozier PPG. The Terry Rozier acquisition seemed to be the missing piece this core has desperately been coveting. The 3-level scoring out of the point guard position is something the Heat haven't had since prime Goran Dragic. Unfortunately, it didn't play out that way at first, and got even worse when Rozier's season was cut short due to a season-ending neck injury. It took Rozier a long adjustment period before he got comfortable in the Heat's system. His 23.2 points in the first half of last season with the Charlotte Hornets considerably dropped to 16.4 points with Miami. Now that he has a full training camp and health on his side again, look for that statistic from the team's starting point guard to improve. Grades. Spurs at Heat, preseason game. The San Antonio Spurs dropped to 2-2 in preseason play following a 120-117 defeat at the hands of the Miami Heat. The Spurs, who were playing their first road game of the exhibition season, got off to a slow start before winning the third quarter 35-23 to give themselves a chance. Alas, the Heat were able to pull away late. San Antonio will play their final preseason game on Thursday in Houston against the Rockets. After that, the Spurs will open the regular season on October 24 in Dallas against the Mavericks. Wembanyama got 17 minutes in the first half. He was loose with his decisions, his defense was sleepy and his shot selection wasn't the greatest, but it's difficult to argue with his production. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists and a block in 17 minutes? Yeah, that's not bad. Wembanyama will need to tighten things up once the regular season rolls around, but that looks to be just a matter of him locking in. Paul got 25 minutes and there was good and bad. The good, his outside shot looked really crisp. He'll be able to space the court with his jumper. Passing-wise, his wisdom of when and where to dish the rock is unmatched. Defensively, he exhibited a lot of toughness. The bad, he turned it over 6 times, that's not something we'll see often from him. His ball handling against pressure was lacking. Miami Heat reportedly seeking trade for potentially rich big man New York Knicks also in target. A new Miami Heat rumor has suggested that a potentially wealthy Eastern Conference big man is on their trade radar. The Miami Heat are just 1 week away from the start of their 2024-25 campaign. There is a good deal of hope about this season's team. They have a squad around them that could be much better than they were last season. That's where the technician comes into the picture. The expectation is that he can help lead the club back to being title contenders this season. One of his several plans for the team in 2024-25 was to move players back forward and combine it with a classic center. Unfortunately, there is a hole at position 5. Shortly after the news of one of the players' injuries, it was reported that the Miami Heat management was looking for a new center on the trade block. And it appears the organization has eyes for a certain 26-year-old player from the Eastern Conference. On Monday, Sportskeeda's NBA insider, Brett Siegel, reported that the Miami Heat were targeting trades for several bigs over the summer. One of them was revealed to be Charlotte Hornets veteran Nick Richards. The Jamaican native was also reportedly linked to the New York Knicks before his eventual trade for Karl-Anthony Towns earlier this month. The former second-round pick played 4 seasons in the league. And it has consistently improved every year for the lowly Hornets. The center played a career-high 51 starts and 26.3 minutes per game in 2023-24. He rewarded the extra minutes by averaging close to a double-double, 9.7 points and 8.0 rebounds, last season. Richards has a classic center frame and is a rock-solid rim protector. If acquired in a trade, he has the potential to be a real difference-maker for the Miami Heat this season. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Nick Richards? Leave your opinion in the comments.